Hey guys, Pete here. So today's video was meant to just be an unboxing, but we ended up talking about experimental design, two different gnat treatments that I've got for fungus gnats, and then we got to the unboxing at the end. So if you're up for those three things, stick around. Let's get into it. G'day you mob. Welcome to this episode of Pete versus Plants. I am Pete and the plants aren't in shot, but I assure you they are here. I have just gotten home and found this at the door. So that's going to be a bit of fun to open. I've got a few things that should be arriving in the next couple of days. So I am not 100% sure what this is. So it's kind of like a early Christmas. And I also went out today and got some Tanlin drops. So this is to deal with fungus gnats.
I hate those guys.
I have a bit of a fungus gnat infestation at the moment, and I've tried using sticky traps. I've tried using hydrogen peroxide and watering everything that I have with soil, and it kind of worked for a little while. Like the hydrogen peroxide definitely, gave them a kick in the pants, and they didn't come back for probably a month, at least in the same numbers.
Listen, I'll be back in a few days, okay?
But I'm starting to notice them again, so I really obviously miss, some of the live ones. I miss some of the eggs, whatever. Tanlin drops are meant to work where I think you put about 1 drop per litre of whatever your water, your nutrient solution, whatever you're going to be watering your plants with. And I think it includes, I'm trying to find on the back here, does it explain what it is on here? I believe, and I'll have to double check, if I'm incorrect about this, I'll correct myself, but I believe that it is kind of like a little crystal that when it's consumed by the maggots, the larvae of the fungus gnats, it enlarges in their stomach and ruptures the animal's stomach so that it dies.
That's fucked up in all kinds of ways now, isn't it?
So apparently these are brutal, really, really good. It's pretty expensive though. That was $40 Australian. The other thing that I got that I was going to try is called Barrier Guard. Kills insects for over 2 months. And apparently, and so it's sort of washed out here, it's pretty white. Apparently you chuck 10 grams of this on a 20-litre pot. So for most of my pots, they're probably nowhere near that size. So they may only need like 1, 2, 3 grams of this stuff. And this, I think this is 100 grams? 250 grams. So this should be able to deal with all of my soil plants.
Your time is up.
But you just put it on the top, water it in, and I think it's some kind of bacteria. I'll have to double check online. I was talking to the guy and he reckoned it was a bacteria when he was selling it to me, but he says that this is very, very, very effective. And I was going to get some diatomaceous earth. I think it's called Gnat Barrier here in Australia. There's a product that you can get. And the guy there was saying, it'll work, but you have to put it on the surface of every single plant and sort of completely cover the surface, forcing the maggots to move through that substrate, and that'll tear them up, as opposed to, say, just putting it into the mix. I thought, I'll just buy some and mix it into my soil, and he was like, no, you're going to need to put it across the surface. But I don't know. You guys give me some feedback. I'm probably going to do some videos in the future on these two things. I was thinking about trying to do it scientifically.
My God, you're such a nerd.
So what I would do, and I'll come back in a sec, if I was actually trying to scientifically measure the effectiveness of different gnat treatments, here's what I would do. And I'll get one of my little gnat sticky traps that I've had here for about 2 weeks. They need changing over, so you can see the problem. It appears that you have an infestation, Pete. So I have these on quite a number of my plants, and they are killing quite a number of gnats. But if I wanted to measure this scientifically, here's what I would do. Okay, so first I would remove every single one of these sticky traps that has gnats in it. And I just kill it with fire, man. Get some new traps. Now I would work out what's the time of day. Okay, so I'd pick a time of the day, say 12 o'clock on the dot. And I would put out a set number of traps, trying to cover the entirety of my collection thoroughly. So say at the moment you can probably see I've got a bunch of plants back here. I've got all these shelves over here as well. So what I would probably do is try and space these out evenly throughout my collection. So perhaps put one of these sticky traps on each of my shelves and maybe one on each end of the plants here. And then I would leave them up for a specific amount of time. So I'd probably leave them up for 6 hours, 12 hours, enough time that you would catch at least a few gnats, but not so much time, like a week, that you would end up with this many, because it's going to be a massive pain in the ass to count them all. So the reason that I would leave it up for 6 hours, say, is that afterwards I would collect them all up, remove them all, and remembering, try and mark down the numbers and where they are. And then I would count the number of gnats on every single one of these sticky traps. So hopefully, again, you pick a period of time where, say, you're getting 10, 20 gnats, enough that it's going to be statistically significant and you've got enough. I've forgotten my statistics, but effectively you need enough data that you will be able to get a statistically significant result from it if there's one to be had, right? So if you were to only put it up for 5 minutes and you get like 3 gnats, it's probably not enough information. If you leave it up for 20 days, you're gonna get loads, but it's gonna require you to go through with a fine-tooth comb and count out probably thousands of gnats. So I would do that, 6 hours, count up, what's the average number of gnats per sticky trap? Say that it's 5, okay? And then I would apply the treatment, and I would probably leave the treatment going for a specific amount of time, say a week. Then I would put these traps up again, and again, I guess you would do however much time they reckon it takes for there to be an effect on the population of gnats. Then I would put these up again, same places, number them the same way, except obviously showing that they're the second batch, and leave them up for the same amount of time, then take them down, and then count up the gnats. And for you to work out if there has been a significant effect on the gnat population, you would obviously have the number of gnats initially that you measured over a 6-hour period on X number of traps throughout your collection. And then your second lot will be the number of gnats that you collect over a 6-hour period on your traps. And you would hope you would get significantly less gnats on the second treatment there, the second batch that you are counting up. And so if that's what you saw, then you would know it's effective. Now you could do this using all kinds of different treatments in order to work out which one of them is the most effective, and then you could compare them with one another. So that is something that I could do. It's a little time consuming, and I don't know how interested you guys are in that sort of thing. The other option is to just do that, but apply both treatments and potentially be watering with hydrogen peroxide, and then I could potentially also be using mosquito bits to just see if I can make a real dent in the population. But yeah, I tell you what, they're the bane of my existence at the moment, and I really want to get rid of these goddamn gnats. All right, let's get on to the unboxing. As you will have seen in the previous unboxing, do not open like this if you're an idiot like me, because you cut the plants up inside the box. So if you want to see me doing that, you can check out the video. It'll probably be, I think it's over in this corner. I always forget. So yeah, one of the corners, guys. I think you know the drill. You know how it works. Man, I've had way too much caffeine today, which is why I am talking non-stop. I feel like I could probably talk underwater, guys. Okay, so I should play the tune, shouldn't I? What's in the box?
What's in the box? In the box. What's in the box today?
What's in the box?
Okay. Oh. Got these biodegradable little peanuts in here. It'd be so good if these were edible, guys. Like if you got like chips effectively with your plants as they came, that would just be the best, right?
All I think about is food.
A little snack and your plants. All you would need after that is something to drink, right? Maybe a little shot of whiskey or something in there.
Sign me up.
I wonder if I should do that next time I send plants out that I sell, once I start selling them. I wonder if I should just include a little shot of whiskey in there and be like, cheers.
I don't think that's legal.
All right, trying to work out if the plant has been fastened. Oh, nice. I know what it is now. Trying to work out if it's been fastened in here so that it has. It's been taped in so that I can dump all this into the recycling bin and into the trash. Into the trash. All right, so this, maybe I'll get back in front of the camera before I start telling you what this is. So this one was sent out last week. I got this on eBay, and I should get my computer so that I can tell you the price. You know what, I'm not gonna do that, but I will tell you on the screen here. And I wonder if you can work out what this is. So, this is a philodendron, god damn it, tape, a philodendron, and I think I have to get the number right. Is it 69896?
Thank God you were so close.
So it's called, I think it's called Big Ears. It's nicknamed Big Ears. So it's kind of the cheap version of the UPI. The UPI at the moment, if you try and find those in Australia, for about this size, it would be high triple digits, low 4 digits. And this one is bone dry by the feel of it. So it's going to need a water. But yeah, I had recently gone on a bit of a binge for just interesting philodendrons that I could grow on a moss pole. And so I saw this one come up, and they're not that common here in Australia. I have seen quite a few other plant fluencers growing these out, so I was kind of like, oh, I wouldn't mind getting on that boat.
Get into the boat.
Especially considering their price compared to the UPI, because yeah, Jesus. But yeah, so there we go. It's looking a bit cramped. I think it'll probably stretch out a little bit in the coming days. But as I always do, effectively what I'm going to do is I'll give it a water. I might then chuck it into my bathroom and I'll spray it down for pests. I'll leave it in there for a week, spray it down again, and then probably after another week or so, assuming that everything looks fine, I will move it into the collection. I might chuck this on a moss pole straight away. Otherwise, the other option is to just grow it out, take multiple cuttings, because plants like this where they have kind of like quite thin leaves, you know, I think these will size up quite a bit, but plants like these with these sort of, not the heartleaf philodendrons, on moss poles I kind of prefer to have multiple plants so that it sort of, you know, gets a bit bushier and looks a little nicer as opposed to just a single plant growing up there, especially if you've got something like the Atabapoens or Billietiae and all of those, where if you grow them up a pole, like sometimes the Atabapoens I've seen with like internodal spacing like this, and it just shoots out one leaf over here on a petiole that's like 1/2 meter long, another one over here, and they're just so sparse. So I think if I was going to moss pole those up, I would probably want 3 plants on the moss pole at least, but you know, perhaps there's problems with trying to do that once they get larger anyway, so I'll have to just wait and see. But yeah, I think that's it probably for this video, guys. Thanks for joining me. YouTube reckons you're going to enjoy this video too, and yeah, I'll see you over there. Catch ya.